this is my channel. So since I didn't make a video at all this week again, sorry, I have decided that instead of catching up on every single piece of news over a few videos, what I'd do instead is just take my top 5 picks from the week, which I have been keeping track of, and just do them in a top 5 video today, so hopefully you guys will enjoy. I'm just going to jump right into number 5, which is the reveal of a patent by Apple to produce a DualShock style game controller. Keep in mind that this is only a patent, and a lot of patents don't actually come to actually produce anything, so it's not like an announcement or anything, but it is something interesting to think of. It's basically going to be a controller that would be compatible with iOS devices like iPod Touches, iPhones, and iPads. There's also a chance that it could be compatible with the Apple TV, which isn't a huge deal yet, but if it is, it could really push the Apple TV up as a contender against like the Xbox and PS3 and Wii and that kind of thing, which would make, you know, definitely some sort of competition, especially for, and I hate to use the word, but more casual audiences. You know, Apple have a lot of lower priced games available. If they're available to play on like a TV with a console, controller and everything for younger kids, definitely, I think it could be a pretty big contender in that kind of market. In saying that though, I definitely don't see it being like a threat to Xbox or PS3 or Wii, because it's just really not going to be on the same wavelength, unless of course Apple do step their game up and start making some serious games kind of directed at the same kind of audience, so we'll see what happens there, but like I said, it's just a patent at this point, so nothing to get too excited over just yet. Now on to number 4, which is another controller piece of news. You guys remember the Ouya, the Android-powered console that I mentioned a while ago? It's currently in Kickstarter, and the Kickstarter has now raised $5 million. As a celebration of this, I guess, they've announced a potential design and controller design for the Ouya, which are very interesting, especially the controller. It looks very similar to an Xbox controller, and although this isn't a final design, it does give us a good idea of how the Ouya will run and what it will actually feel and look like. They've also announced that OnLive will be available for Ouya upon its release, which basically opens up the entire OnLive streaming library for the Ouya as soon as it's released, which will be a pretty big library and definitely a good incentive for people to get the Ouya upon its release. The number 3 piece of news for this week is that there is a new Humble Indie bundle, although it is different from the past Humble bundles because this one is just a music bundle. Although we have had a Humble music bundle before, this one differs in that it's only got one video game soundtrack included. The rest are just other artists that tend to be aimed at the same kind of audience. The game soundtrack included is The Best of the Valkyria Chronicles by Hitoshi Sakimoto. The other 5 albums are by OK Go, MC Frontalot, Christopher Tin, They Might Be Giants, and Jonathan Colton. I had to read it off because I just couldn't remember all those names. As with all the Humble Indie bundles, you choose how much you'd like to pay for all of these, and if you pay more than the average, which was about $8 when I bought it, you do get the OK Go album. And with all the Humble bundles again, you choose how much of your pay goes towards the charities, the Humble bundle themselves, and the artists. Number 2 piece of news this week is that a Baldurs Gate Extended Edition has been announced. It will be releasing on September 18th, which is conveniently my birthday, and retailing for $20 USD for PC and Mac, or $18 if you pre-order. It's an enhanced remake that will include the entire Baldur's Gate game, I think 1 expansion, and 6 new hours of gameplay in a new dungeon. There's also 3 new characters to play as, which is pretty interesting. Apart from the PC and Mac editions, they are making an iPad edition which will be released around the same time. It's going to have a completely reworked interface to make it easier to play on a tablet, and it will include the new content but only 1 of the new characters. The other 2 will be available by DLC. The final number 1 piece of news for this week, and I'm sure since it hasn't popped up by now you guys have guessed what it is that Mists of Pandaria, the new World of Warcraft expansion, finally has a release date of September 25th. Although I'm not a World of Warcraft player, Mists of Pandaria does look really interesting, and it's actually made me consider a few times jumping into WoW. One of the only things that stopped me is that Guild Wars 2 releases so soon. Mists of Pandaria introduces the Pandaren race, the monk class, the level 90 level cap, as well as a really awesome Pokemon-esque battle pet system which looks amazing. So any World of Warcraft players get excited for September 25th. And that is my top 5 pieces of news for this week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Please let me know in the comments if you have any thoughts on anything that I said. If I missed a piece of news that was exciting to you, let me know because I'm sure I'd love to hear about it. Let me know if you liked this setting as well, like the doing the whole week of news in the end of the week, because that is really good when I don't have a lot of time. So I'd definitely like to continue doing that if it's something you guys enjoy. Before I go, I'd like to shout out my friends at Somewhat Awesome Games who have made this awesome live-action Zelda film. Click the annotation to view it now because it's amazing. Finally, all the pieces of news that I spoke about today can be found in the comments if you are interested in hearing more about those. But that's it for today, so I'll see you guys again soon. Bye bye!